Okay, so firstly, thank you everybody for attending what's going to be a fabulous session. We have here with us today Dr. Hazza Alneami, the Coordinator General of the Dubai Government Excellence Programme. Before I actually introduce Dr. Hazza, I wish to say from the New Zealand Business Excellence Foundation perspective that we're all pleased to have you here. And if you are from New Zealand and you're not already a member of the New Zealand Business Excellence Foundation, please do join us, because we do have webinars on a frequent basis, and we have some special events lined up next year, such as the Business Excellence Conference, which is being planned for the 10th and 11th of May next year, and that's combining that with the International Best Practice Competition. And that's where we can have organisations from around the world compete in that competition through participating online. And to participate in that competition, there'll be webinars preceding that main event in May. So with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Hazza. I've actually known Dr. Hazza for quite a lot of years now, and got to know him better and better as the years have progressed. So we've known each other maybe for about 10 years. I think we met at a benchmarking conference about 10 years ago. And I think Dr. Hazza was then a project manager at the Dubai Government Excellence Programme. And he was considering doing a PhD at that time. And I know eventually he did complete his PhD at Aston University in productivity and efficiency. And he also progressed to be the Coordinator General for the Dubai Government Excellence Programme. So the Dubai Government Excellence Programme is very special, and he will introduce that to all of you. But I'd just like to say that worldwide there are 74 countries that promote business excellence, of which 57 countries have a Business Excellence Award. And I would say at this current point in time, Dubai is the leader in terms of the amount of engagement they have from their clients, the government, in terms of excellence. So they're doing an excellent job. They have excellent staff working with them, and you're going to hear a lot of great insights into that. So Dr. Hazza will present for approximately 30-40 minutes, and then after that we'll have questions and answers. And so if you have any questions to share, then please add them to the chat box, and we'll ask them at the end of the presentation. So Dr. Hazza, are you ready to begin, please?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robin. Hi, everyone. It's an honor and it's a really absolute pleasure being here with you today. And I would like to thank Dr. Robin for his kind invitation to participate in this webinar. I'm really excited and happy being in such webinar with an audience who are experienced in the field of excellence and management, a field which is very close to my heart and I'm very passionate about. I would love, I would have loved, to be with you there and meet you in person. But given the current situation, we are doing this virtually and hoping that you all keeping safe and healthy. So before we start, I would like to, to take this opportunity today to give you some details and insight about what the UAE and Dubai in specific has done in the past 23 years since the establishment of Dubai Government Excellence Program in 1997. So the journey starts from here. So whoever, haven't been in Dubai yet, as you can see this picture, which is not very far from now, this picture was taken in the late 80s, specifically in 1987. It's about 30 years from now. And this is the same road now. Dubai, in a very short time frame, has really transformed into a global hub for trade, travel, and businesses, and has been one of the world's fastest growing cities over the past 2 decades. Dubai, where it stands today, it's due to the wise and far-sighted vision for His Highness Sheikh Rashid Al Maktoum, the founder of Dubai, and his son, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister, and the ruler of Dubai. Their efforts really has positioned Dubai on the global map as a regional and international leader. Before I share with you about Dubai Government Excellence Program, let me take you through Dubai Excellence Map, where the journey started. The excellence journey started in 1994, where the government established Dubai Quality Award for really enhancing excellence for the private sector, which actually followed in 1997 with the establishment of Dubai Government Excellence Program, which I will really thoroughly talk about in the coming slides. These two initiatives could be considered as the cornerstone for the public and private sector development and improvement, and was really followed with establishment with the many initiatives, institutions, program. All these have contributed to the development of Dubai and where it stands today. This is include, as you can see, Dubai e-government back in 2000, the Executive Council of Dubai government, where the Dubai Government Excellence Program belong, and Mohammed bin Rashid Leadership Program, and followed by the launch of the first strategic plan for Dubai in 2017, which is called Dubai Plan 2015, and many other initiatives across the year, as you can see, which is really started with the start, in the past 25 years. So it comes as a surprise for everyone in the government when our government leader, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, directed to establish the excellence program in Dubai government to be the first excellence program in the region and one of the first excellence program in the world. DGEP mandated focuses on three main areas, as you can see: sets standard and incentivize excellence in government, and this is done through develop a regular update on the framework, criteria, assessment methodology, and providing feedback report on the area of strength and improvement and best practices to the government entities around the world. The second is to act as global knowledge hub, a global and innovation knowledge hub, through facilitating knowledge sharing within Dubai and within our international partner, and build a network of experts in government excellence. And accordingly, advise Dubai leadership on government excellence through developing and sharing findings and reports on government excellence in specific and government performance in general in Dubai. As mentioned, DGEP is a pioneer excellence program aimed to enhance Dubai government excellence performance and services to a leading position globally. It's a program that's very close to our leader, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, and he has highlighted the role and the impact of DGEP in the transformation of government entities' performance and services in his book, My Vision. And one of his quotes, he has actually quoted DGEP in many of his, many areas in his book. One of his quotes, he said, "This program is the force behind improvement of the public sector. It's propagate the spirit of competition not known by the government sector before. All managers, officials, and employees seek to compete to provide the best and win one of the awards." I believe that the main trigger of the government, for the government entities to embark on these initiatives of DGEP or any other project in Dubai is the personal commitment actually of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid to this program, and his belief that excellence is the main driver to enhance organizational performance, not only for the government sector, but any organization around the world. Not only did he launch and introduce a new concept for government performance and excellence, he actually personally follows that to the end. As you can see from this picture, this we're taking recently during the pandemic, which is show his commitment and support to any initiatives in Dubai. There are many examples to introducing a new concept in the government sector by His Highness, one of which is the smart transformation, where the government entities has to transform all their services into digital services within 2 years time frame. So he didn't just launch the initiatives, he gave a deadline and follow up on that, on the 22nd May 2013, he announced, and on the 22nd May 2015, he followed up. And you can see that on his Twitter account. If we talk about the deployment of DGEP and how do we start with planning, governance, engaging with the stakeholder to ensure really successful implementation of our objective as DGEP. As you can see, the deployment of Dubai Government Excellence Program is achieved through these key stages. First, we set the aim and the objective for government excellence performance as per the government priorities, which are decided according to our leadership direction and latest trend in excellence and innovation, and what we have decided as an area of improvement from the previous assessment cycle. So we build on our previous learning from the assessment cycle. One of the main contributor as well in setting the aim and objective is to take the government entities' feedback into consideration. We always listen to the government and address their challenges. Based on that, we design and develop the awards model, categories, and the criteria for each category. In addition to introduce new initiatives, program, project that will really enhance the public sector performance and build the human capital capabilities within the government entities. The next stage is that the program conducts several activities in spreading the awareness of the model and criteria and the way of adapting the best practices. At this stage, other activities targeting, upskilling and enhancing the capacity of the government employees in the field of excellence and innovation, as well as the best practices implementation in the public sector. This includes really several training activities using different learning methodologies, including electronic and smart learning. And we're going to talk about this methodologies, benchmarking, where we really cooperate with Dr. Robin as well. We're going to talk about this. And we are going to talk about these initiatives in the following slide. Then we measure the government performance, which is really a vital step, carried out, of course, through conducting our assessment cycle and also through conducting customer and employees happiness studies in a yearly basis. Then rewarding and really recognition or positive motivation, which is Dubai's way in stimulating government performance, where all government entities, employees, initiatives, and achievement are recognized through a prestigious award ceremony is conducted under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. And finally, we have to learn from our experience and also share the knowledge with the government entities from this really full cycle. There are certain expectations from our leaders in Dubai toward the government entities. The vision of our leader is very ambitious, but very simple at the first time. They want Dubai and the UAE to be #1 in all fields. So the expectation from the program, from DGEP, is very high as well. It's to achieve, it's achieving the program vision, which is enhance the performance of government entities to become global leader in their field of work. So we want Dubai Police, for example, to be the best police force in the world. We want Dubai municipality to be the best municipality in the world, and so on. The ultimate goal, of course, is to improve the happiness of the people and the society in Dubai and the UAE. So our model is actually built on achieving best practices and to be a global leader. The government entities leader, the Director General as well, would expect us to include and update relevant best practices, criteria in our excellence model. They expect to benefit from our learning initiatives through implementation of global best practices in their entities, and of course, to have a rigorous governance system that ensure awarding and recognizing the outstanding performance in the government entity. There are expectations and there are also challenges encountered working, with the government entities. In order to keep our business models really relevant in today's world and identify the challenges really faced by the government department, recently DGEP has gone through a significant review last year, in October last year, which what we called actually DGEP 2.0. First of all, we had to make sure that our model is aligned with the best practices. So what we did exactly, we looked to all other models in the world and catering to all our stakeholders through multiple channels. The first thing we did was to engage our stakeholder and conducting interview with them. Some of the question we really inquire and ask them, what do you think of the existing model? So we asked the government entities, what are the current gaps and what things that you need to improve? What things need to be changed? What are the pain points that they have experienced within the full process of the assessment and the full process of the past years? This being followed by identifying all the gaps and common challenges faced by the government entities. Then we looked worldwide at the other business excellence model. We did a benchmark with best practices, and we did this through our membership within the Global Excellence Council and partnership with the International Award. As you know, DGEP is a member of Global Excellence Model Council. Plus, we kept track with our leadership new direction and initiatives to achieve Dubai vision. Then we end up having too many dots. We have analyzed them, start to connecting these dots together to what really going to fulfill the customer need and expectation, which is our government entities and all stakeholders. So we saw too many challenges, as you can see. So we heard from the government that, you know, the program is becoming, I'll just, you know, read a few of them, is becoming very predictable, the process easy. So we changed it to dynamic assessment, and you're going to see how is that happening. The framework that focus on the process, now the framework mainly focusing on what's matter and focusing on the result. Entities really, you know, fatigue, and they feel really, you know, being heavily involved by the process. Now the entities are really motivated in Dubai. Large number of awards, and now we really minimize the number of awards to only outstanding performance. Improved effort are not recognized, and now entities on the path to excellence. You know, any improvement in the government entities is really acknowledged. So the outcome of this exercise was coming up with 7 principles that form the foundation of DGEP 2.0, which are, as you can see, these are the 7 different initiatives that we came up with last year. First of all is the elite model. After 20 years of assessment of government entities, the government entities become very much aware of the assessment criteria and requirement. So this pillar of the assessment will really add the element of unpredictability. The result-based assessment as well. This way, the assessment framework set clear objective and KPIs requirement set for the entity who score above 450, and we're going to talk about this. How we have a league now of assessment. Leaderboard. This will add clarity and visibility to all entities on how they compare to other participants. So each government entity will have a dashboard having every single score and how did they score on each criteria, and they're going to compare themselves with other entities. Feedback. Entities clearly see their achievement and progress toward their targets from the feedback. Pioneering partnership. This initiative is, we're going to conduct this initiatives after our assessment cycle next year, which is really collective responsibility of top performer will match with the bottom performers for knowledge sharing, and the treasure hunt, which is limiting the number of hours. We're going to talk a little bit about the league of competition, which is very interesting now in Dubai, and I think we've been pioneering in this. The league of competition, the spectrum of progression, and 3 leagues of competition to motivate government entities to improve. We have categorized our participant entities into 3 levels, similar to the football leagues, which really makes it very interesting and dynamic for the government entities to improve and to move into upper level. So starting from the foundation level, as you can see, for the entities who score below 450 points in the previous assessment cycle out of 1,000. And we have 15 entities in this level competing to qualify. So their target is to qualify to the next level, which is the excellence level. There is no award in this level. Their target is to move into the excellence level. They will get nothing except if they qualify, they will get a certification of excellence. On the next level, which is the excellence level for the entities who score between the 450 to 600. And we have 13 entities in this level in Dubai, competing for 7 different awards categories. So here, government entities can compete on the award and receive as well, if they stay in this league, certification on excellence. On the highest level, which is the elite level, for the entities who score above 600 in the last assessment cycle, and we have 4 entities in this level competing only for the elite award. On this league competition was developed as a result of challenge we saw, where some entities dominating most of the awards categories and other were left out with no chance of really reaching to the winners and getting and being rewarded, and basically demotivating at the end of the day. So after 23 years or over 20 years of assessment, we found that some entities have really been dominating all the awards. So this league will give a chance for some entities to win some of the awards and to qualify into the next level. So our main aim and objectives that to move all entities to be elite. This is the main objective in Dubai. So in this way, you see that all the entity is motivated, has its own targets, and is awarded according to the current level of performance of these government entities. Elite model, after 20 years of assessment, the entity is really becoming very aware, as I just mentioned, of the criteria. But this pillar, and will add, really unpredictability factor for the government entities and for this elite entities. And these factors, so for example, this year, we add 3 different pillars: agility, data science and AI, and partnership. And this is going to change in every assessment cycle for these entities based on what's happening around the world, based on the latest technology, based on the latest trend. We're going to decide on these changeable and unpredictable pillars. I talk about the dashboard, which is an interactive dashboard, as you can see, but the entity will see their score and the previous score, and they will see the other entity score, but without seeing the name of the other entities, which really will help the entities to improve and compare themselves with these different entities. Again, pioneering partnership, which represent a mechanism for cooperation, a partnership between entities to improve their performance by transferring the expertise and knowledge through self-assessment, knowledge sharing, and maybe temporary secondment between the government entity. And as you can see, the elite level entities cooperate with the excellence level entities, and the excellence level entities gonna cooperate and work with the foundation level entities to pull them up and to move to move them up in the league. And this cooperation and integration will be assessed as well in the following assessment cycle. So what really makes DGEP special and relevant? So what are some unique features that really differentiate DGEP, and what is really the value proposition put forward? I think every award management program has to look for its uniqueness in delivering its value added to its stakeholders. From my experience in DGEP and looking at the other excellence program in the world, I see that what differentiates really Dubai Government Excellence Program from other awards and make it really successful, these main key uniqueness, let's say. First of all, trust. Through its DGEP, through its rigorous governance system and quality assurance during the assessment process, and through the support and close monitoring of His Highness. So our leader is always involved, is always there. We have gained the trust of government entities They trust that we are going to put only the outstanding performance on the stage to be recognized. The second thing, we've been, you know, as I just mentioned, the 7 different projects, we always update our, you know, model and our criteria and our project and program, the categories, criteria, all initiatives, always been updated and incorporated with the latest trend in organizational excellence and to address local and global challenges faced by the government entities. So every year we conduct this review. Integrated, our program, really it's an integrated program. So when we talk about integration, as you can see in our model, all type of performance, excellence, organizational, employees, initiatives, all other types are really integrated. The program is also integrated in terms of deliverables, in terms of criteria, categories, training, and really knowledge sharing activities, all integrated to serve one goal, to enhance the government performance, to be global leading, to be in a global leading level. Even in our, like, for example, happiness studies is integrated. We have an innovation framework that we measure the government performance innovation level. It's all integrated within this framework. We have our central government as well. They feed their KPIs. They feed into this, you know, it's considered as a main input in our model. Global reputation, DGEP is globally recognized to be one of the leading programs in the world. As you already might know, we are a member of a Global Excellence Model Council, which indicate other international award from Malcolm Baldrige Award, the EFQM Award, and other prestigious awards in the world. Impactful, it has been a significant impact. You know, DGEP has been a significant and had put a significant impact on the performance of government entities, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. We recently conduct an impact assessment to study the impact of DGEP, supported by PCG, Boston Consulting Group, which was based on the mission that DGEP was established, which is to incentivize Dubai government entity to achieve these 4 main objectives: is happiness and welfare of citizen, government efficiency and effectiveness, innovation and international competitiveness. So we've been assessed based on this 4 different factors. So first of all, we give the feedback. It's actually conducted, as mentioned, by PCG, and it's by third party. We have no interference in this assessment. And the feedback we receive from the government entities, saying that DGEP is one of the most prestigious awards. DGEP gave us a framework for improvement. It put us under pressure to deliver. DGEP provided incentives to improve our services and our performance. Also, the government entities indicate that 70% say that DGEP was impactful in improving their effectiveness in the past years. And this is also reflected in the result of the customer happiness. Our impact is reflected in the customer happiness. We're going to show you in a minute as well. From 2004 or 2005 to 2018 or 19, it's a huge improvement, almost 50% improvement. Dubai is also considered among top 20 innovative cities. And according to the government entity, this can be attributed to Dubai Government Innovation Framework. We have a framework of innovation. And some of the comments mentioned by the government entities that DGEP taught us to innovation for problem solving. DGEP program helped us focus on future community innovation. We benefited from DGEP Dubai Innovation Initiative. So we have a lot of innovation activities as well within DGEP that really supported the government entities. Again, DGEP act as a driver of impact and influence in the UAE of all excellence award. We are the first government award, let's say, in the region and the UAE, followed by all these awards from 2004, 2006, and 2008, different awards in the UAE being followed and being affected and impacted by DGEP. In the region, DGEP has a great influence in the King Abdullah II Center of Excellence, in Bahrain Center of Excellence in 2006, and King Abdullah Quality Award in Saudi Arabia. So these entities, they're all actually learned from DGEP, they're impacted by DGEP, and we have a cooperation between us and these awards, locally and regionally. Again, if we look at our assessment, since we start assessing government entities in 2004, the highest entity scored 590. In the last assessment cycle, the highest entity scored 641, which is a huge improvement. Again, the customer happiness started at 69 and now 85.2, which is actually 2019. Employees happiness index in 2019 started in 2005, 68, and now 85 in 2019 as well. DGEP also invested in people within the government entities and in building capabilities. Over 40,000 employees benefited from DGEP seminars, which is around now maybe 200 seminars actually, and webinars and different type of knowledge sharing. Over 15,000 employees really benefited from a formal training. We talk about excellence and innovation training that we conduct to certify and to upskill employee within the government. And over 20,000 employees are registered in our smart training initiatives. We have a Dubai Smart Training Initiatives where we train all the government entities in this application. And actually, this application has won in 2016 as one of the best 5 knowledge sharing initiatives or platform. Again, we'll talk about DGEP and the COVID-19 pandemic. Dubai, as other cities and countries in the world, was shocked of the spread of the virus. In Dubai, alhamdulillah, the public service response was very fast and efficient. What has helped us in the pre-existent of infrastructure of digital services, which were really mature and accessible and utilized by the public. So basically, there was no major shock in the system. The business continued to operate as usual. Also, government employees worked 100% remotely, which showed that the resilience and the agility of the government in the face, on how we face the crisis. The government was prepared based on the investment in excellence, innovation, and digital transformation previously. DGEP has conducted as well. So if we talk about DGEP recently and within the pandemic and within the lockdown, actually, DGEP has conducted an exciting and I think very beneficial project during the crisis, which was held under one of our benchmarking initiatives, which we call Dubai Wulan initiatives. We're going to talk about it. This initiative is actually we conducted in a collaboration with Dr. Robinman. During this crisis, we have initiated the project aiming at learning from the world best practices in managing and recovering from COVID-19 crisis using internationally recognized methodology and tool. The project was conducted and finalized in a duration of 6 weeks. And it was during the crisis and during the lockdown, while everyone in Dubai working remotely. The project involved identifying the best practices in managing COVID-19 in 5 different pillars, mainly crisis management, public health, economic recovery, food security, and supply chain, and finally, social behavior pillars. So we have, we benchmark and we look internationally on these different 5 pillars. 28 government entity officials were involved in this project, representing different 11 government entities. The project resulted really in identifying more than 200 practices from 50 countries around the world, as you can see. This initiative is based on trade methodology, as you might all know, this trade methodology, which, we do this learning initiatives in cooperation with the Center for Organization Excellence and Research in New Zealand with Dr. Robin. There are some picture, these are some picture of the last assessment cycle we conduct. We have already as well issued 2 books of the project participated in this initiatives, and we are currently working on issuing the 3rd book for the last assessment cycle. And you can look at these books in DGEP website. You can look at this book, and you can look as well on the DGEP effort in 2020 during the pandemic. Last but not least, I would like here to say some words to both an Excellence Award and an organization in general. For the Excellence Award, I would like to ask them to learn and benefit from our success factor, and that is building trust in the program and seek the highest and the higher leadership support and commitment to the program. Show relevance by continuously updating the criteria, including the global best practices, and to address both global and most important local challenges, knowledge sharing of success stories and adapting the best practices, followed up on the winners as well, and ensure the sustainability of their success and excellence performance, and finally measure your success and your impact and improve in a continuous basis. Word to the organization. As for the organization, I would like to advise to focus on their customers, study their expectation and continuous improvement, and ensure their experience are improved and their expectations are met. Innovation is always a great way to differentiate your organization and achieve leadership position. Build innovation culture through your organization. Innovation is not an initiative or a certain function or something belongs to the R&D. It's everyone's job in the organization. Finally, I would like to advise any organization to leverage on the technology as well. Utilizing the technology feature wisely and increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of your organization. Harness the power of technology in the innovation and in shaping the future of your organization and your country. Thank you very much for hosting me, and thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Dr. Hazza. Before I go to the chat room to look at what questions we have for you, then I'd like to say firstly, thank you so much for your sharing. I think that was extremely insightful and gave a great overview of the journey you've been on in Dubai, and the support the Dubai Government Excellence Programme has provided to all your government entities. And I would really like to ask the first question to you. And because of this fantastic journey you've been on, and with great success, you shared some of the impact that your programme has had in terms of moving the government forward, in terms of improving citizen satisfaction, in terms of employee satisfaction. I know as well, in terms of innovation, the UAE has improved in terms of international competitiveness, in terms of ease of doing business, all these measures, there's been dramatic improvements. But many of us are asking the question, can we have a Dubai Government Excellence Programme in our own countries? Because, and we're often trying to encourage our own governments to go along a similar path to Dubai. So have you got any advice or sort of anything you'd recommend of how we can follow a similar journey, what we need to do to get started? How can this happen?
Thank you, Dr. Robin. It's a very, very important question. Is actually, as I mentioned at the end, one of the most important things to really make sure that your program is very successful and your workforce are very incentivized and the organizational are improved is the leadership involvement. The highest leadership is always involved within the last 23 years since the establishment of DGEP. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, UAE Vice President, the Prime Minister and the ruler of Dubai, he's always there in every award. He's the one who's awarding the winners. He's always involved in every initiative, in every forum, in every exhibition we do. He's always there. So seeking the highest leadership support is one of the main, success factor. The second I would say is really to go down and listen to the government entities, and this is what we did. We went and we looked at we assess our impact and we assess our performance as DGEP, and we listen to the government entities. So, and we reflect that in our criteria and our initiatives. So we always in contact with the government entities to see what their main challenges. So if you as an award, you don't listen to your stakeholders, you won't reach anywhere. So they will struggle. We saw a main challenge, for example, that entities never moved since 10, 15 years. They scored the same score. So we changed the concept, we changed the culture, we changed the mindset by setting the leagues. So everybody now, is really awarded to move upwards, to move forwards. We saw that domination of awards. So we really give these guys, the elite guys, a highest level in the city. So to be elite, and everybody should follow. And we give chance for other entities to win some of the awards and maybe move upwards. So we always have to listen to our customers. We always have to really analyze their challenges, and we have to connect the dots. Sometimes it's not easy, so we didn't come up with this 7 initiatives. We really learn from you guys. We learn from you, Dr. Robin, to be honest. We learn from Australian award, we learn from international award. Even slight information will really help you to improve.
So do you have pressure in terms of from the government as well, in terms of defending your budget and the support and the actual program itself? So you've got to provide the argument of why you need to continue.
Can you repeat that?
So do you have also, I mean, you're talking about obviously having to be always responsive and understand the needs of your customers, which are the government entities, and to make the program fresh. So do you always need to defend the budget the Dubai Government Excellence Program gets from the government and the support of the overall program? Because again, that's an issue for many countries.
Very, very interesting question. I know some of the awards are actually, they are self-funded, and some of the awards are really budgeted from the government. But our budget actually is clearly defined, and is clearly can be our impact from our impact. We don't really define our budget, but we ask and we get our budget based on our achievement. So and again, and I would like to mention as well, we have for example, Dubai Finance Department, DOF, is with us participating. So we have the central government, they know exactly what's happening. So we are measuring even the financial aspect for the government entities. We measuring the digital aspect, the innovational aspect, and all these inputs are feeding into our models.
Okay, thank you. Well, what I'll do, because George has got his hand up and his video is showing, we'll let George have the first question, George Rahman, and then after that we'll go through the list in the chat box, and we'll try to cover as many as possible.
Thank you, Dr. Robin. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Hazza. You did amazing. I'm a big fan since I was living in Chile 3 years ago about the DGEP and all the work for the last 23 years. It's very impressive, the progress, the impact of a city like Dubai, especially with the public sector. As you mentioned, Dr. Robin, the benchmarking cycle Dubai will learn is an amazing initiative. It should be explored and used in other countries. What are your plans, your future plans related with sharing this to other governments? Like, I don't know, I'm thinking New Zealand, Canada, Chile, all over the region, GCC, because it's an amazing way to all together learn something, share the knowledge, and get better performance. So I just would like to know what are your plans for the future related with this, Dr. Hazza. Thank you very much again. Shukran and greetings from Dubai Police. Big fan.
Thank you, George. Dr. Robin, you want to say something about this?
Not really, but I think the question relates, to be honest, to the whole Dubai Government Excellence Programme, because this is what other countries want to learn from, and you've got a great chance to be an ambassador for excellence worldwide.
You know,
I still think many countries are not aware of the work that's being undertaken in this area.
I totally agree with you. And going back to George's points, it's Dubai We Learn is a very successful initiative, actually. And we even utilize it for the pandemic, and we use these tools, not the full tools, but I mean, we've been able to engage everybody in the government to really and truly get together and use this successful tool. You know, we save millions of dirhams, tens of millions of dirhams based on these initiatives. Lots of projects, and now, as you know, we're working next year into an integration project as well. So not only just a project by the government entity, now we'll try to get all the entities working together on some certain project to collaborate and to integrate as one government. Regarding other learning from, you know, as George mentioned, maybe within Dubai, within the UAE, and you know, and regionally, you know, we try our best to promote our initiatives, but again, it's only depend on the, you know, on these government and on these countries, how they want to progress and learn. You know, in the past 23 years, there's a lots of cities and countries learn from our experience, and we as well learn from them. So it's a two-way actually learning, and we're here to help anybody and to support anybody, and really, you know, share with them our success stories.
Okay, well, we'll go through the questions in the chat box now. So firstly, there's a general question. Are there any countries which Dubai looks up to in terms of learning best practices and benchmarking, maybe particularly in the excellence area?
Very, very, very good question. And of course, you know, we always learn from the best, and we always, you know, we have a similar experience to different countries. So, for example, we learn a lot from Singapore as a city, for example. Again, as an award, now we are part of the Global Excellence Council. And this Global Excellence Council is our reference for any learning. So any countries within the Global Excellence Council, any model actually from India, China, Japan, Singapore, Australia, I think Brazil or Mexico, US and Europe, we try to learn from everybody. But if we talk about specific country, you know, every region has his own specification. But again, when it comes to the award, the best gift we've been in is the Government Excellence Council. I mean, Global Excellence Council.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from New Zealand, from Karu. Have the uniform government departments, therefore have the military, the police, emergency services, have they been part of the Dubai Government Excellence Programme as the other government departments? Because often these departments are very difficult to, or slow to change.
Very interesting question. You know, I don't know if people who's listening to us know the structure of federation in UAE. We have a federal government and we have a local government. You know, basically, if we talk about Dubai and Abu Dhabi and other cities, we have as well a local government. So if we talk about local government in Dubai, Dubai Police is part of our local government and has some relation with the federal government as well. But they're participating with us, and they're participating as well with the federal government. Definitely, Dubai Police is participating with DGEP from the start, actually, and it's been one of the really leading entities within the region and within the world. You know, Dubai Police is an exceptional entity, and it has a lots of success stories. People in the world, usually they get really scared from the police. Here, people are very relaxed with the police. The police has his own way of really, you know, we have a very high percentage. We consider one of the best three. I think, you know, people feel safe in the road. So this is all referred because of the Dubai Police when we talk about Dubai government and Dubai city. So, but military is not with us, just to highlight as well. The military, they have their own award. They are not part of any award within the
But as you say, it's used at the federal level across all ministries and across all at the local level in the particular Emirates of Dubai. What about the role of women leadership in the Dubai government? Can you talk about that, Dr. Hazza? The role of women in the leadership government.
Very good question. The women actually represent the majority in Dubai government. I can't say, I don't know the exact percentage, but definitely more than the female is more than the male within the government entities. I think is maybe 65 or 70% are female, and maybe the remaining is male. We have a huge role of the woman in the leadership, either in the executive council or within the other department. If we talk about the program, we have a lot of honor actually from the women, and we used to have a categories called the best female in the government. So they have a great role. We have a council for women as well. So it's been very successful within the Dubai.
Okay. With regards to the award itself, what incentives do you give for organizations to progress in terms of excellence? So is there anything in addition to the award, the recognition that is given to the government entities?
Very, very interesting question. The main incentive is His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid supporting and giving the award to the winners. This is the main incentives. The award itself, we don't have really a monetary award like money award only for the individual. Let's say for employees, we have a specific, let's say financial award. But for the organization, mainly it's the award itself, the prestige award.
Exhaust on karo na.
Can you mute, Almas? Can you mute your microphone, or I'll mute it for you?
Okay, so yeah, so this is the main incentives for the government entities, and all our report and feedback are presented to our leadership. So this is really give a high pressure on the government as well.
Okay, for the success of the Dubai Government Excellence Programme, what are the key relationships that are necessary? I mean, presumably with the leadership, are there any relationships you require with the private sector, for example?
Definitely, very good question. The private sector is the main partner of the government, and recently, when we talk about the elite, if you saw when I talk about the elite model, we add the partnership pillars, PPP. So how the government can really benefit and work together with the private sector. The private sector is one of the main stakeholders of the government, and they always work together. And it's considered within our framework, within our criteria, within our assessment. And we actually asked the government to always conduct a survey of their stakeholder, of their partnership, of their private sector partnership as well.
Mm. Okay, this is another sort of question, I guess, looking at the emphasis of the Dubai Government Excellence Programme criteria itself. I mean, what is the focus on sustainability and environmental issues as part of the Dubai Government Excellence Programme?
The whole model is actually focused on sustainability. So if we look at our assessment methodologies and tools is actually one of the main criteria of the assessment tools is sustainability and how government can sustain their results and their achievement. This is one of the main things actually. So one of the main assessment tools is the sustainability and achieving leading positions. But as well, when we talk about the criteria, we have the sustainability, the environmental sustainability. We have the green area within Dubai. We have a lot of sustainability criteria within our model.
Okay, I think that we have two final questions which are related because we're coming to the end anyway. We've got them in the last 5 minutes. Obviously, you've talked about the changes to the Dubai Government Excellence Programme in the last couple of years. I mean, how has that been received by your stakeholders? Are they happy with the changes? What's the feedback so far? And And how often is this cycle going? You review your program once every year, every 2 years. So can you just?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Rob. It's very, very interesting question. I can't say, to be honest, but we had lots of positive feedback from the government entities. The changes really touches their needs, touches their expectation. Really, we try to trigger the challenges that they face. They're very happy. They're very satisfied. I met one of the coordinator general, director general within the government entity, and he said, for the first time, if I don't win any award, I'm happy for the progress that you guys made within the government. So to this level, you know, these guys, they used to fight for the awards. Now they are satisfied with the changes, with the improvement, with the support that the program providing to, you know, the dynamic that we do to the government entities. So the government are very satisfied, especially when we focus on the core business of the entities. So we're talking about their core businesses. So they would love to talk about it because it's their language, you know. We talk their language by bringing the SMEs from all over the world. With regards to the second part of your question, Dr. Robin, which is how often, to be honest, we always try to improve our model. And during the, you know, so for, I give you a small example for, you know, during the pandemic now, our assessment cycle, you know, should be conducted in Feb or March 2020, but because of the pandemic, we had to postpone the assessment to 2021. And we come up with a new assessment model for 2020. And we are the first award who did that. We consider 2020 as a challenge for the government entities and as an opportunity for us as well to look at this challenge and at the same time to incentivize the government to work beyond and to plan for post-COVID-19. So we create this model that focus on the business continuity, focus on the leadership support, focus on the how did the government entities really reskilled and upskilled their you know, workforce. We focus on different area and we focus on two main things, the pandemic time and the post-pandemic planning time. So it was really interesting. And, you know, we've been very dynamic and, you know, we've been proactive in coming up with new things. But if we talk about, you know, we usually do it every year. So after the assessment cycle, we gather all the feedback and we try to review and improve every assessment cycle, post every assessment cycle. Let's see.
Thank you. I mean, as you were saying about in the past, the actual awards process was very, very competitive. And now you have a different approach where you have this league system. And, you know, in terms of the league system, can you be relegated from being an elite organization? What happens there?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's a football league. You know, and you know, I support Arsenal. I don't know if people from UK now. My team, you know, it's near to relegation, going down. So it's you know, it doesn't matter how good you are, how your history are, but again, if you're not performing well, you're gonna go down. So it's always this is what really keep the entities on their toes to go and do the best. So the entities who score less than 600, the following assessment cycle, they're gonna be relegated to the Excellence League, and the same for Excellent League gonna be relegated into the Foundation League. So this is what we really think it's motivated for the government.
But the issue that I saw in the Dubai government was in the past they were so competitive against each other, weren't they? Which could have gone against sharing between government entities in the past to some degree, and so I hope the changes that will address that. You know.
Yeah, we address that in different ways. One of the things is the league, and the most important thing, and I mentioned that, is the partnership initiatives, you know, leading for partnership, where the government entities, the elite entities will work with the excellence entities, and the excellence entity will work with the foundation entities. This is going to happen just after the assessment cycle. They're going to work for 2 years, and they're going to be assessed on how they collaborate and how much the low performance entities improve and how much the elite and excellence entity really support. So we will measure the both way in the following assessment cycle, and this will really help the entities to not be very competitive, but share the knowledge more than ever.
Okay. I think we're going to have to leave it there, Dr. Hazza. We could talk all night as it is in New Zealand at the moment. It's just past 7 o'clock in New Zealand. So I really appreciate your passion and the amount of sharing. It's been tremendously insightful. We all wish we'd got our own governments following a similar path to Dubai. So hopefully as a result of this, you'll get invitations to travel all around the world and come to New Zealand as soon as we open up our borders.
It's
So
really
thank you very much indeed, and happy Christmas to everybody who's participating today. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, and it's our pleasure, and happy Christmas to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
And we'll
bye-bye.
share the video after the video will be made available to everybody as well. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Robin. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, Hazza.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.